Hello, welcome to the 190 Q&A practice. We're going to start off with the defense questioning, and the subject is building deterioration. Ready? Will you give us your full name? Mia Knott. Your home address, please? 1950 Independence Street South. Where is your business located? The address? 6050 North Street. What is the name of the business? Usefulness House. Who is connected with you in business? My brother. What is his name? Mark Knott. How long has this been a going concern? Since 2012. Were you in any business before this one that we are talking about? I just kept up the house for my brother. Is your brother interested in any other business besides this one? Well, he has a part-time job. What type of business is this Usefulness House engaged in? We deal in used clothing. Do you buy used clothing and sell it as principal, or are you an agent for other people? We buy some of it on our own and some of it we handle on consignment. Do you handle anything besides used clothing? That's it mostly. You say that some of it is bought outright by you and your brother and some of it you handle on consignment? Right. What percentage of your business would be garments that are exchanged? It is all exchanges. All of it is exchange business. Now you state there was a deterioration of plaster in the property that you leased in which you conducted your business. There certainly was. How long had that plaster been in that condition before it caused any difficulty? There wasn't any that I noticed. I don't think you understood the question he put to you. I would like to know how long the plaster had been in poor shape before they had started to repair the damage. Oh, that. It was done immediately. How long was the condition there? That's what I want to know. They did it in just 2 or 3 days. The damage was just before that. It is my understanding that the work was done the latter part of February. Am I right? That is right, February. It goes without saying there was damage to the plaster before that date in order to need fixing up or repairing. It was just 2 or 3 days prior. You see, I am wondering how long the deterioration of this plaster had been going on or existed. It was just 2 or 3 days. I called the agent, and he didn't waste much time. He came very soon. I am talking about the damaged plaster, not the damage you went through. I know, I realize that. You're asking me how long the condition was unrepaired, aren't you? How long did it need repairing as far as you know? Like I say, just a couple of days. I notified the agent right away. Was there any water leaking that might have caused the plaster to get loose? Or was there a dry cracking, or did it just happen real suddenly? I didn't notice anything before that. I didn't make any search or investigation before. I just noticed it and called the agent. Where was the damage, in the store, or was it general? It was in our room where we have stock, and it was also in the entrance. Now, do you claim any damage in the main showroom? No. What do you use this stock room for? We keep incoming stock there and also the dressing rooms. Do you use this in displaying merchandise of any kind? Well, yes, in a way. We take customers in there and show them things that we think they might like when we don't have them out in the main room yet. Now, you say the damaged plaster was repaired the latter part of February? I do. Upon whose request was the plaster repaired? Mine. And this was after you called someone? I called our landlord's agent. And he had it repaired? Yes. Did he tell you when it would be done? He said it would be done at that time because it wasn't easy to walk through. We both just understood. Did anyone come in and inspect it before the day they actually repaired it? There were people looking at it most all of the day. There was one guy there examining it quite a lot. Can you tell us how many days this was before they actually repaired it? It certainly was within the cycle of a week. That is all I know. Did you have any conversation with this man? Do you mean at the time he was making his examination? That is correct. No, I did not have an occasion to. Did you go to your place of business on the day they were making the repairs? Yes. What time did you get there? I generally am there between 8:30 and 9, so I suppose it was around in there. What was the condition of things when you arrived? The men were mixing plaster in the entranceway. Was the doorway leading up to your premises opened or closed? Doors closed. Did you open them when you arrived? I did. What occurred then? They were readying to put up the scaffold. Were you there all day that day? Until closing time, yes, sir. And what time was that? As a rule, I am there until 5:30 weekdays, but I am a little irregular about it. I can't tell for sure. Would you say roughly around 5 or 5:30? I think it was later on this occasion. What did you observe the men do, if anything? They knocked all of the loose plaster off. What a mess. During the time they were tearing the plaster off, were the doors open or closed? I closed them during the time they were tearing the old plaster off. So there was no plaster dust coming into your rooms? The scaffolding was up and the door was open. I retract that statement made before. They were open, not closed. They were open all the time? Yes. In other words, when they were tearing the loose plaster from the stairway, there was dust coming in from that work? I didn't notice at the time. I was busy with other things. In other words, you don't know whether there was any dust coming in your place or not? I wasn't aware of any. Okay, I'm going to switch transcripts and read from this medical transcript for a few minutes. This is going to be defense. Would it be that after Mr. Johnson had had a period of sleep would be an accurate time as to when he came out of the acute alcoholic hallucinosis state that he was in? Yes, again, probably there would still be some residual, shall we say, organic symptoms, probably the next day or so after acute intoxication. During the period of time that he was suffering from this hallucinosis, would he have any lucid intervals? Lucid to the extent that he could focus his attention and identify somebody talking to him and possibly even respond with what might be an appropriate statement. During this period of time that we are describing as lucid, would he be able to distinguish, say, from right or wrong, or would he know the nature and quality of his acts? I think those are two different questions. Let's take one at a time, counsel. Theoretically, if something were presented to him as right or wrong, he might be able to make the decision. For example, when he was riding back in the police car, he recalls being pushed down against the floor, the handcuffs hurting, and he recalls asking to have them released, and he knew he was in a police car at that point. He might have been able to answer questions regarding right or wrong. I don't think he had full comprehension of why he was there or what was happening. Just prior to this time that he was in this police car, do you have an opinion of whether or not he could understand the nature and quality of his acts? My feeling was that he could not fully comprehend what he was doing or why he was doing it. Is it your opinion that he was operating under the delusion of the threat from the devil? Yes. I have nothing further. Cross-examination. Thank you. So, doctor, you examined him on 2 different occasions. Is that correct? Yes. The last being March 10 and the first being January 25? That's correct. In the process of examining the patient, you gathered the facts or get certain information from the patient himself or the defendant himself. Is that right? Yes. Now, the story that you heard was that basically that he saw some sort of an image of a devil at the bar. Is that correct? Yes. And that he doesn't recall the events of running home. Is that correct? He recalls arriving home and being unable to open the door. I think finally forcing it. That's his next recollection. I believe that you indicated that he described this image vividly, and he even gave a description of the color of the image. Yes. Would you mind telling us how he described the image? One of his reports was that the image was a face, natural-sized face, nothing else, just a face, with a gray-green tint and tiny horns. The face said nothing but had a sheepish grin, and the mouth was not open, but it was just starting to smile. He didn't mention to you that it was a red devil with a forked tail? No, it was just a face. Let's see, your first interview would have been on January 25th? Yes. Were you aware that Dr. Hunter had previously examined him on December 10th? December 6th, rather? Yes, I was. The day of the event? Yes. Now when he talks to you, he tells you that he doesn't recall getting the gun and ammunition, does he not? When he talked to me, he denied any recollection of getting the gun. Okay, and he certainly didn't tell you that it was a 30-06 and he went up to the attic or unfinished room to locate the ammunition? No. Now, if he had told you this, would this be a significant factor you would have put in your report? I would have put that in my report, but I don't know how significant it would have been. There were areas of amnesia all through this thing. Now, by amnesia, do you mean that these are situations when he is talking to you and he doesn't remember what happened that night? Yes, episodes of lapse of what was happening to him. Okay, that concludes our 190 Q&A practice. Have a great day.